Want a container that explodes with color from the very first day of spring all the way into summer? Today, we're creating the very famous TikTok bulb lasagna. And no, this is not a cooking show. We're gonna teach you how to layer plants. It's an easy, space-saving way of getting waves of blooms for months. And we'll walk you through everything from planting to layering to even aftercare. And we're planting ours right here so you can watch every step. A bulb lasagna is exactly what it sounds like. It's layers stacked on top of each other. Instead, we're using flower bulbs rather than pasta. By planting different types of bulbs at different depths, the earliest ones push through first, then mid-season bulbs, and finally the late bloomers. The result? A single container that keeps changing and surprising you with early season crocuses all the way to tulips and alliums in the late season. Now, before we get going, let's take a little bit of time to plan our bulb lasagna. This is the step that makes the magic happen, because when you layer bulbs with different bloom times, you can have flowers starting in the very first days of spring and continuing well into early summer. But first, let's think of our container. You'll want something nice and deep, at least 14 to 16 inches with a good drainage hole at the bottom. The deeper the pot, the more layers you can fit. 3 layers is standard, but if you have a really deep container, you can even sneak in a 4th. The planting idea is simple. The biggest bulbs, also bloom the latest, sit at the bottom. The medium ones go in the middle, and the earliest, smallest bulbs are right on top. That way, the early risers pop through first, the mid-season flowers follow, and the late stars finish the show. For the first or the deepest layer, I like using the late bloomers such as tulips or alliums to finish off the show. Above that, about halfway up, you can tuck in classic mid-spring bulbs, daffodils, fragrant hyacinths, or even mid-season tulips if you want a second wave. And right near the top, you sprinkle in those early birds, crocuses, dwarf irises, muscari, or sweet little snowdrops. They'll be the first to say hello after winter. And don't worry about spacing them too carefully, because bulbs like to be a little crowded and cozy. Now comes the fun part, choosing your style. If you're dreaming of something timeless and elegant, try something we like to call the Moonlit Garden. Imagine white crocuses opening first, followed by creamy daffodils like Thalia, and finishing with pure white tulips such as Mount Tacoma, and a tall white allium like Mount Everest. It looks sophisticated and it glows beautifully in evening light. Or maybe you prefer something bright and playful, so we call this one Spring Carnival. In this case, start with early purple crocuses like Ruby Giant to give you that first pop of color. For the middle layer, mix richy scented hyacinths such as Jan Bos or Delft Blue with cheerful yellow daffodils like Narcissus Tete la Tete or Jetfire. The mix of vivid petals will look like a painter's palette, splashing color across your patio from early spring into summer. If your style leads more towards the dreamy and romantic, then the romantic Reverie may be the style for you. It begins with dwarf iris harmony on top. In the middle layer, add bluish pink hyacinths like pink pearl and elegant white daffodils with a hint of pink, such as pink charm. To finish, use peony-style tulips like Tulip Angelique and sprinkle in some allium purple sensation for a subtle pop of dramatic purple at the very end. If you're enjoying these planting tips so far, don't forget to hit that subscribe button and ring the bell. That way you'll never miss more garden inspiration and our step-by-step guides. Whatever palette you choose, be sure to check the bloom times on all the packages so you know that you get an early, mid, and late bloom. And that's the secret to a pot that never stops. I like to lay all the bulbs out on top of the soil first so I can picture how the colors will unfold before I start digging. It's a little preview of the show to come. And once you see those combinations in your mind, you'll be even more excited to plant. And if you need high quality bulbs, be sure to check out our online store at wildwood.express. We have fresh tulips, crocuses, and daffodils and all the tools to make your layered lasagna. All right, so now let's put it together. We'll walk you through each step as we plant our romantic Riviera lasagna combo together. First, we're adding a thin layer of gravel or a few pieces of broken pottery at the bottom of the pot. This helps with drainage so the water doesn't pool. Next, we'll cover it with soil until we reach the depth needed for the largest bulbs in our mix, like the lush Tulip Angelique. Then we place the bulbs pointy side up, close together, but not touching. Once the largest bulbs are in, we add the 2 or 3 inches of soil on top, and then it's time for the middle layer. Here, we're adding the blush pink hyacinths, pink pearl, and elegant daffodil pink charm. Cover them gently with soil, and finally, we tuck in the smallest bulbs, like the delicate dwarf iris harmony on top. Fill the pot with soil until it's about an inch from the rim. To finish, we'll give everything a deep watering to help the soil settle and get the bulbs ready for their winter rest. Once planted, place the pot where it will stay cool and get moisture over the winter. If your area gets heavy freezes, tuck it against a wall or in an unheated garage. Water lightly every few weeks if the soil dries out. When shoots appear in early spring, move the container to a sunny spot and feed it with a slow-release bulb fertilizer. And there you have it, your bulb lasagna, ready to deliver beautiful color for months to come. If you made it this far in the video, please let us know on which bulb creation that you're going to try next. We would love to hear and see what you're planting.